implementations to grow a church, right? So, in your conduct opinion, what must a pastor do when it becomes evident that one or two persons in the church portray themselves as threats to the beauty of such growth?
Yeah, because when you identify such people, even Jesus himself had a Judas in his ministry. His disciples being only 12, he had a Judas. So somebody did a calculation and said that once you have every 12 people, there will always be a Judas. And as Jesus did, even when he was washing the feet of the disciples, and he knew very well that Judas was even going to betray him, he still went ahead and then washed the feet of Judas. So taking a cue from that, I know definitely there are some definitely who may not even like your vision, may not like your style, may not like, but so far as they are there with you, sometimes they are the people that will criticize you most, but sometimes you have to also love them, accept them, and then continue to pastor them. Because if you confront them or you cast them out, to their souls are also very important, and their souls that God has bring in. So for me, what I do most is that when I identify such people, I try so much to also engage them, give them tasks that will occupy them, so that when they are also doing it, those challenges that maybe they may sit back and be criticizing, when they are also on, they will see it, and they will see that sometimes it is not an easy, or it is not the way they are seeing it. So mostly for me, when I meet such people, I don't discard them, I don't put them off, but rather I also bring them in, I engage them. Sometimes when they are outside, when they are far off, they are the way they see things are different. But when you try to bring them closer, when they are closer to you, you realize that, or they will realize that, no, sometimes what they are seeing is not what it is. So when you bring them on board, after some time, you realize that they are also cool to go. And so for me, that has always been. So for me, throughout my lesson, I've not had people that I'll say that they have had confrontations with me, or I've confronted them, but rather I try to apply godly wisdom in dealing with such people, so that I don't lose them also, because no matter what, they also have people that like them or that love them. And when you cast them out, sometimes maybe those who are family heads, they will go with all their family people, and then you are losing souls. So I try so much to connect with such people and also bring them on board, use them also, and then when they are also on the job and people begin to criticize them, and they also see that it's not easy. So for me, I don't just take them as maybe Judases, or I don't just take them as people who don't like me or who are a threat to the ministry, but sometimes I try to educate them, bring them on board, bring them closer, and then let them see the need for them to also be engaged in soul winning and evangelistic ministries. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much as well. Okay, I will take you back again in your own personal life as well. That's how I am. Normally, I want to know so many personal challenges, apart from from looking at what Reverend Duffy I just came to mind, Reverend Duffy's testimony that she came to give to us, the background that he was coming from, and being an uncle of Reverend Duffy. In school, okay, growing up, what were the challenges that you were facing as you were following your uncle, going to church? I know, fine, you were born and raised in the church, but what were the main challenges personally that you faced whilst you were growing up?
Yeah, growing up, I attended Catholic basic schools, and those times too, the Catholic fathers were very, very, let me say, disciplinarians. So sometimes they insist that on Sundays we even come to Catholic church. After church, we'll take numbers, and on Monday they will check. Before you even get to class. And we also have Sunday school. And you have to come in, take attend the morning mass, take the number, and then run to Sunday school as well. So with all those things, and then also, growing up, you realize that you have to be at war with immorality and vices, things that go contrary to what you want to become or what you are learning, and sometimes it's not easy because I have attended single sex schools throughout, from the primary and the basic school. I also went to a senior high school, St. Mary's Seminary, which was also a Catholic school, and then also the discipline there was also very, very good, and it also helped in shaping us. But despite all the disciplinary actions being executed by the Reverend Father, still the waywardness and all those things are there, and then the tendency to go wayward is also very high. So those were some of the challenges that I personally encountered, and sometimes having to run from school to go on a crusade and come back. Sometimes you have to ask permission, sometimes you cannot ask permission, you have to run away, and doing all those things, combining with church activities here and there, sometimes was very challenging. But in all these things, God saw us through.
This was it's a little bit challenging. I know it will be challenging for you. From what you were just saying to us, you went to a single sex school. And
Yes.
normally we say that those who are goes into single sex schools, especially during colleges, they always want to get closer to the female. It's like they've not seen some before, but they are not seeing them apart from their female teachers who are lecturing them in the schools, and then they are seeing. They always want to have this experience out there. Did you ever have any challenges during those times?
Well, those times, some of us were young and naive, so some of those thoughts didn't come until maybe I got to training college. Then we have a mix-up of girls or ladies among us, but because the ladies were few by then too in the college, we still have a lot of us coming from the single sex schools, coming to the school, so we always move together and mingle together. So it was later part of my life that I tried to associate with ladies or with the opposite sex, and then try to move on with life, and later on got married. So personally, I didn't have that time so much to do some of those things. So it was a later part of my life growing up, because at those times I was still young and then naive about some of those things. Yeah.
So how did you meet Mama Gifty?
Well, Mama Gifty, but then after college, she also came to Afajato by that time. She was in Wote. She came to teach, and then later on left and went to school. So when she came around, she was also a member from the Ohwe Church and came around. So even though we were not friends, we were not close, but she always joined our mission team when we were going for missions with Reverend Dufe. Anytime we are going for crusades, she also joined, and then they were part of the missions team. So it was then that I saw that she's also a ministry material, and then when we come together, we'll be able to do more for the Lord. And that is how come, we got connected, and then we got married.
Wow. This is so inspiring. Okay, so let me go to my next question. The Gen Zs, that's like our current dispensation, are very weird, if you agree with me. So weird that we sometimes ask ourselves the brand of cables used to structure such formations. Aside your leadership training, what other successful approach have you commemorated in mentoring these Gen Zs into the future leaders we are all hoping to see?
Yes, one thing that I always do that I try to understand them and then always meet their need, because this generation, as you've rightly said, they are something else. So if you don't understand them and then also try to adjust with their kind of ways and lives, you realize that you will always be at conflict with them. So for me, one strategy that has always worked for me is that I always bring them close. I always bring them close. I always bring them close. So even most of the young guys that I've brought closer to myself, most of them are also into ministry right now. So sometimes their parents will even call me and say, "Oh, Pastor Bra, when we are traveling for mission, send my son along because the way he's misbehaving." So I could remember I took one guy, we went to a village, and then it was the whole village is thatch houses. And that day he was thanking God that for the first time he will sleep in a thatch house. And today that boy is doing well in ministry. So sometimes when I bring them close and then try to engage them, because most of them, they want to find something doing. So if you leave them idle, the devil will find work for them. So we have to engage them. Okay, be in charge of the media, the instruments, come for rehearsals, join the choreography team, join the missions team. So once they are engaged, then you realize that they are using most of their productive time for the things of God. But if you leave them idle, the devil will find work for them, and they will always be on the social media. They want to trend. So give them something that they can do. So as they engage, we are traveling to a village. We send some of them along. They are also doing the house to house. They are moving and they take pictures, they share. And so when they are doing something, you realize that the time that they may use to engage in vices will be very minimal. So I bring them on, I organize programs for them, programs that they can exert and use most of their energy. So we organize praise night for them, where they can sing, dance, and praise, sweat their sweats. And when they do that, when they get home, they only go and sleep. But when you leave them, the energy is there, and then they want to use it on something. So for me, I believe that when we bring them close, when we try to engage them, move on with them, then we can also be able to utilize whatever gift God has deposited in them. Yes.
Wow. God bless you for this initiative. No, so you are a crusader. Let me use that word. You are a crusader. You want always to bring people out there, going for outreaches, doing evangelism here and there. So conducting effective evangelistic crusades and outreach programs in this 21st century, comes with a lot of unforeseen challenges in ministry. We are aware that such efforts will be what's impossible without supporting partners. I'll ask that, what inspires these partners to keep supporting such causes of ministries? Can you share with us their testimonies for supporting such programs?
Yes, most of them, the testimonies that we bring from the field inspired most of them a lot. I could remember last 2 years we went to prisons. We went to the Pando prisons for an outreach. And when we got there, the prison officers said that they cannot give me more than 10 minutes. And I said, oh, for me, I only need even 5 minutes. So after we've given them the clothes, the trust and everything, I shared the word with the gospel with them for only 5 minutes. And when I wanted to end the sermon, the officer there, I said, oh, if you were to know that this was what I'm going to preach, so I should go on, and you want to give me more time. And then I still added some time. So then, just last year, we were in church when a young man came to the church and said And the trust that we shared at the church, at the prisons that time, he had my contact and everything behind. So he called and then he came. And he was saying that at that time that we came, he was going through a lot. And then people were even advising him on things to do when he come out of the prison so that he can pay back in a negative way to the people who has caused his incarceration. But when we came in and then after preaching and praying with them, he had decided to give his life to Christ, and he followed up and came to the church. And those are some of the testimony. I could remember we went to a place and immediately we wanted to preach. Then the rain started. And when the rain started, the whole crusade ground, everybody has run away. The whole place has scattered. And the instrumentalists were still playing when the light went out. And quickly they turned on their generator, and the whole community, it was raining and we had light. So we were still dancing in the rain. And when we were continuing dancing in the rain, after some time we saw that some little children also started coming to dance with us in the rain. Then after some time the rain stopped, and then the preaching went on, and that night it was marvelous. Then the following day, the whole family came to give a testimony that their son, who was bedridden, was sick, but he came out during the rain to come and dance. And that was how come that child got his healing. And that was all. And they took him back to the hospital, they tested him, and the sickness was not there again. So sometimes when we share with them these testimonies, they are also inspired. Even though these days it is very difficult because of the economic situations, it's difficult for people to support missions. But the few who understand missions, who knows that by all means some have to be sent, and for the gospel to be able to reach out certain people, because there are some of the places it takes the grace of God, and human beings or people are living there, and sometimes even when we go there, we getting there alone inspires hope in them, because some of them will say, oh, nobody has ever come there to even preach to them. So when we go and then we meet with these people, stay with them, sometimes 1 week, we eat their food, we drink the water they are drinking, and then we associate with them, and then we try to preach the gospel to them. When we share this testimony back to our partners, they are also inspired, and then they continue supporting. So that is how come we've been able to do a lot of evangelistic crusades. Yes, and we are looking forward to still do more this year. And this month, Assemblies of God Ghana, this is our mission month, and we have mapped up some communities, towns, and villages that will be holding crusades this year.
Wow, this is so inspiring. This is so inspiring. We thank God for the support that we are getting from other people because of the great work that God is doing in our midst as well. Okay, so you carry a special burden of grace to oversee and to coordinate missions activities across your region, and that's, I know, alone is a tough one. Now, if you will permit me to relate this burden of ministry to the burden each Christian owes their community, what will you say are the etiquette demands or each Christian to their communities?
Yes. You know, it goes of every believer or every Christian to reach out to the lost, irrespective of wherever we find ourselves. But sometimes, if you are not saved, you cannot save others. And sometimes, our way of life, our character, and the way we portray ourselves speaks a lot about us. So somebody said that some people may not have the Bible, but we are the Bible they are reading. They are reading our lifestyles, our character, our everything. So sometimes when you call for missions, or maybe soul winning, even within the church community, you will see that some people will be feeling reluctant. But when you take them to another community, you realize that they are able to freely flow and then carry out this thing, because people do not know them, they don't know their character, they don't know their lifestyles over there. So we realize that our lifestyles or our character speaks a lot about us in terms of missions. So one of the challenges that people have faced for not able to reach out is that they have not been able to work on their character. So that is when the holiness comes in. So we need to take up the challenge, and then we need to work on our own lifestyles and character, so that when even we don't preach, people will look at our lives and they will turn and give their lives to Christ and follow us to church. Our lifestyles will win more, because when we do something, people are able to remember what we do more than what we even say to them. Yes, please.
Wow. Viewers, I know time has been fast spent, but God willing, Reverend Bright will be coming again next week with more of his challenges and his encounters in life. Both in ministry and also in personal life encounters, to share with us, so that we will also know when we are facing those things, and also even in his mentorship. Yeah, so next week we're going to carry out on the leadership, mentoring, and the people that he's mentoring, the difficulties that he's facing. Today we've covered about most of the evangelism aspect of it, and so next week, God willing, Reverend will be sharing with his leadership training, and then also the mentoring, that the people that he's mentored, the difficulties that he had to go through, and then the challenges that he's facing, or some of them are also facing, and what he's doing to help. I'm so sorry I couldn't because of time, but God bless all our viewers online, Pastor Reda, Pastor Kumi, a lot of people on YouTube, a lot of people on Facebook. Although we were late, but you were able to join us. God bless you for your selfless dedication. Your last words, Reverend Wright.
Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you so much for all your listeners. And one round to say is that nobody should be discouraged despite the challenges, despite whatever you find yourselves. Sometimes when we find especially we, those that are ministering in certain parts of the world, it looks as if maybe God has just dumped us there, and then it looks as if there is nobody for us. But looking at what God is doing at Golokwati, I want to say that God is closer to Golokwati than everywhere.
What's the name again? God, Golokwati.
Golokwati. It's in the Volta region. Yes, okay. Golokwati. Right. Yes. Right. So looking at what God is doing at Golokwati, God can do it for everybody. So let's keep our hopes alive, and God will bless all of us all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Reverend Bright. Let's keep our hope alive, and God indeed will bless all of us. As I always say, Adonai is still in the making business. So all that we have to do is to go follow him, and he will make us. If you don't follow, he can't make you. So greetings to you, Mama Gifty, for loaning Pastor Bright to us today. I know we've taken some time off of your day with him, but we really appreciate your time, and we appreciate your services also, your great support, and also the children. God bless you all. Reverend Dufe, I miss you wherever you are. Greetings from America to you. Yes, from my crew, my manager, and all. We thank you so much for this great disciple you have raised, and also he is also intending following your footsteps. It's very, very, very important. We thank God for how far he has. Viewers, this how far time will permit us today. And as I earlier said, we apologize for the late in transmission and also for the break in transmission. You know, it's about a system. So definitely one or two will be facing such things. But I pray that God willing, next week we will come your way again. Reverend Bright will come again to teach us, to tell us, and then also let us know how God was able to bring him out of all these challenges that he went through, and now what he's still doing and where God is still taking him. So Reverend, God bless you, and hope to see you again next week.
Thank you. God bless you too.
Okay, so viewers, we draw the curtain here, and God willing, next week we'll be back on the live again in the morning, 11 a.m. Eastern time, and also 4 p.m. in GMT time. God bless you. See you again next week if Christ tarries. Bye bye for now.